Hey people, I'm back. Thank you so much for your patience, and we can restart the session. Ask me any question from the previous session if you have anyone. No? So now you understood that why do we sampling? And once the sample data is collected, we have to understand the data and convert that data into the meaningful information so that we can take the decision on that data. So for that, we apply the statistics. There are four phases that statistics will work. First thing is called as a descriptive statistics. In descriptive statistics, we are understanding as is situation that how my process is performing. Then predictive will be if my process is not meeting the target, what should be the expected situation? And there is a difference in the as is and to be. So why there is a difference? That we'll see in the inferential statistics. And if you identify a difference, that why there is a difference, then how to achieve the expected situation? That will be in the prescriptive statistics. These are the four stages. Let's understand with an example. Suppose you are meeting a doctor. Consider yourself you are a doctor of the process or doctor of the data. Here I am taking an example of the medicinal doctor. And you are complaining that you have a fever. So what doctor will do? Doctor will try to collect the symptoms. Like as if you are complaining about the fever, probably they will ask you, okay, did you have a proper sleep? What did you eat? How was the working hours? Did you work hard? Was you walking in the sunlight? And so many other things doctor will ask you. And then doctor will try to relate it with the fever. So you are understanding all the dimension of the fever, that why the fever may come, all the probable factor. You are identifying that why the fever may come or why you have the fever. Suppose fever is, let's say you are having 104 degrees Celsius. And the expected situation will be, it should not be more than, let's say, 99. Right? That is your 2B situation from 104. And when doctor is collecting all these data about your temperature, about your blood pressure, about your heartbeat, about your what did you do yesterday, how many hours you have sleep, and so many things. So then doctor will be able to identify that what is the reason why you got the fever. So doctor will have the root cause identified. So now the doctor will prescribe the medicine not for the fever, but for that reason, because of that fever is coming. The same thing, you being a Six Sigma professional, when you are doing the data analysis, you will do with this situation. You will do all the dimension calculated for the data. Based on that, you will identify where is the problem, where to attack. And according to that situation, doctor will give you the prescription, not for the fever, but for that situation. And that's how your fever will go. Exactly in the same way, you study the data, you understand what is the as is situation. So as is situation, when you study in descriptive statistics, you will be learning about what is the central tendency of the data. Central tendency means you will be checking what is the average value, what is the median value, or maybe what is the mode value. Or You will be learning about the variation in the process, which is also called as in dispersion. How the data is dispersed, where you will be checking how much is the variation in the form of range or variance or standard deviation. You will be checking the shape of the data. Either the data is skewed in the form of skewness, which can be positively skewed or maybe negatively skewed. Or you will be checking the peakness of the data, which is called as in kurtosis. Data may be leptokurtic, platykurtic or leptokurtic mesokurtic, or maybe platykurtic. Or you will be checking the normality of the data. Data may be normal or maybe not normally distributed. So these are the as is situation of the data you will be calculating or checking in as is statistics, which is part of the descriptive. So these all the things you understand for a process data in the as is situation. Kamran, you have a question. Please repeat. What is something that you did not understand? You can speak. Please tell me. Or if your question is answered, then no need to worry about. Ask me specific where I should start. What is the term I need to explain you? We are collecting the data, what based on the sample size and sampling method we have collected. Now, as per this data, we are trying to understand my as is situation, which will be in the form of descriptive statistics, where we are checking in the central tendency, dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, and normality of the data. These are the few things. You understand these are the different dimensions. As a doctor will check your blood pressure, doctor will check your temperature, doctor is checking your heartbeat, doctor is checking your past history, and so many things. Exactly in the same way, these are the things we check in a data. I hope it is clear now. Now, let us understand the first thing out of this. What is the central tendency? So as the name says central tendency, which means we are trying to find out where is the center of the data. So mean value is simple. We will say it's a average value of the data. Average we know, if you take sum of all the value divided by the how many values we have in this total. If you are doing the sum divided by count, that means it's average. Kurtosis, I will tell you, I will explain in detail, Gulistan. Just wait for a few minutes. Let's understand each and everything in the detail now. That was just for the different parameter we are checking. So these values, leptokurtic, mesokurtic, platykurtic, I am going to explain you in detail now. Median is the central value of a ordered data. Ordered data means you have arranged your data either in ascending or descending order. And then you are checking where is the central value. This you can identify by how many total value you have plus 1, and this you are dividing by 2. Then you will get the nth value, which is your median. I will take the example. Just understand the definition first. And mode is your highest frequency value. Highest frequency means which value appears maximum number of time. That is your mode. There is an Excel formula to calculate everything. Mean you can calculate with the formula AVERAGE. Select all of your values and you will get the average of the data. Similar way, if you type median, select all the values, it will automatically give you the median values. Or the mode also you can get with a simple formula mode, and you will find out, Excel will automatically find out which is the value appears maximum number of time in your data set. Now, let us understand these three things with an example. Let's say you are going to office every day. I have the data for last 22 days in a month, and you are taking the time from 25 minutes to 30 minutes to reach office. If I generate the data between 25 and 30 minutes, and this is the data for last 25 days you have. Now for this data, you wanted to understand that what is the central tendency. Just copying and pasting this data so that value will not change. So average is the sum of all value divided by the total. If you say what is the sum and what is the count, so I know that sum of all these value, if I plus each of the value with each other, the on and number of total transaction 25 and each of the day you have done, altogether in 1 month you spent around 686 minutes to reach office. And this many of the value are coming out of 25 days. So what is the average time you are taking is 686 divided by 25, which means on an average you are taking 27.44 minutes, which you can calculate with the Excel formula as well, is equal to average. Select off these values and you will get the same number 27.44 here. Any question till here about the average part? Ask me please. Yes, Oves, you can speak.
In the formula of median, you have written n plus 1 whole divided by 2 is equal to n. So, in this formula, nth is median and n is the total number of samples, right?
Yes, n is the total count of the values.
Okay, and nth is median. So, why we are using the same symbol for two different things?
Nth means nth value. When I say center value of the order data. So nth
That
means
is median.
which is the value for the central value of the order data, that is your median value. Wait for some time, still I did not come to the median. So let me explain the median calculation, you will understand automatically.
Okay.
Let's say you have the same data, let's talk about the median. I want to find out the median. So first thing about the median, you will arrange your data either in ascending or descending order, because I am saying here is the order data. Order means this data is in a specific order, right? So go to the data option in the main sheet menu, select A to Z or Z to A, whatever. Any way you can order low to high or high to low. Then you give some numbers in a serial way, like this. And you have got the nth number 25. So whenever you have an odd number, you will have a perfect median value as a center value. 13 is in the middle. But if you have an even number, you have to take the sum of two values, central value, and divide by 2. So here n means first value is your count. So what is the count here? I have the count of 25. Right? And if I find out the median of this data, so median value will be n plus 1 divided by 2. What is coming? 13. So nth value in this data set is the 13th number in a order data. So your median is 27, because 13th value of the data is 27. You can identify that with a Excel formula, MEDIAN, and selecting all these value, you will automatically get the median value as a 27. Now, are you clear, Kamran, or any question about the median?
Okay.
Now we look for the mode. Mode is the which of the value out of all this data appears maximum number of time. That is the median. Right? So let's say mode of this data, if I identified, I use a simple formula mode. So in a alphabetical order, right? So let's say mode of this data, if I identified, I use a simple formula mode. So in a alphabetical order, whichever the highest value comes first, it will find out that and it will give it the mode. So 26 is the number appearing maximum number of time. If you count here 26, it appears 7 times. And that's the reason mode of this data is 26, because 26 is the value which is appearing 7 times and none of the other value is coming to the closer to that. Clear? I hope you got it. Yes. Ask me, Musabin.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
My question is regarding the median. That if the count is 26 instead of 25, then it would become 26 plus 127 divided by 2. So it's not gonna be the whole number, it's gonna be a decimal number. How are we going to select a median in that condition?
You will add the two middle value divided by 2. That will be the median. Suppose any number you take, these are the 26 and 27, for example. So what you will do? Sum of 26 plus 27 dividing by 2. So median will be 26.5. This is the way we'll calculate it. Let's say these are the numbers, what you said in the same situation, and I'm adding one more value here as a 30. And I want to find out a median of this. So is equal to median value of these numbers will be what? 27. How this 27 is coming? N plus 1 by 2. So if I give some number here, let's arrange this data in a ascending or descending order first. Data A to Z. Expand the selection. Suppose yes. Right? Now you give some number. So total count of the value is 26. So N plus 1 by 2. So this will be 26 plus 1 by 2 is the 13.5. So the value which is between 13 and 14 will be your median. Right? So 13 is 27 and 14 is also 27. And you are dividing this by 2, so you will get 27. That's how you got this median. Now it's clear? Any more question on this?
Clear now. Thank you.
Yeah, sir, can you perform these calculations on mode without arranging the numbers? Just simply applying the formula of it.
Yes,
does
you
Excel
can.
Yeah, does Excel handles the arrangements?
Excel will handle automatically and will give you the mode value.
Sure. Thank you.
If you want to do this manually, let's say this is your time to office. I'm sure you must be knowing about the pivot table in Excel,
Yeah.
right? So simply create a pivot. Let's say I selected all this value. Go to insert, pivot table. Maybe I want to see in the same sheet and in this column here. You will have the time to office, the number of values, and which value appears, how many number of time you put in the values. Right click here, go to the value field setting, and instead of sum, click on the count. So you got each of the value appears how many number of time. Whichever the value appears highest number of time out of this Z2A, so 26 is the mode value. This is the way in Excel you can find out. Now, question please. Yes, Rajuddin, you can speak.
Sir, in one of the example, the first time when we're discussing, you arrange the numbers in ascending order.
Yes.
And
here.
then second time you did it in descending order, sir. So is it like we can do it either ways or?
Yes, either way, data should be ordered. Either it is in ascending or descending. Whatever the way, the center value will remain same, nothing changes.
Okay, so it can be done either ways. The result will always be the same in any case.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Like as per this data, I did in a descending order. I did this purposefully so that you people can understand. Now the same data, you remember the median is 27?
Exactly.
If I the same data I do in a ascending order, let's say A to Z. On the current selection, still median doesn't change because this is the central value only. Clear, sir?
Right, sir. Very much clear. Thank
Okay.
you.
Always question, please.
Sir, I've understood the calculations, but I have a confusion that if where would we apply these mean, median and mode with example? I hope you are going to tell us examples as well. So
I will, sir.
what is the situation? Yeah, what is the
As-
situation we use mean, and for what thing we use median, and for what we use mode?
As of now, we are understanding the basic definition. And we will be soon learning how to apply, when to apply, where to apply, and how to interpret. So for that, you have to wait for a few more minutes. Maybe today or tomorrow, you will be learning all these things. Right, sir? Okay. Yes, Gulistan. Question?
Mode once again, sir.
Mode is the which value appears maximum number of time.
And how we will apply the formula?
Formula is here. When we calculated the mode is equal to MODE, whichever the value in alphabetical order comes highest number of time, this formula will automatically identify that. Clear? Any more doubt, question, clarification? No? All right. Now, central tendency we understood. Next thing is the dispersion. I think we already know on the day one, I think day one itself, I discussed about the standard deviation and we have understood what is this. But just for your understanding, maybe, let me repeat one more time. Let's say same data you have, time to office. And I'm putting up this data here. So what is the range? Range is the max minus minimum value. Variance you can get by the formula VAR dot S, and you will get the variance from the day one. And the similar way STD EV dot S, if you are using, you will get the standard deviation as well. So this is my data, what I have here. Now max minus minimum, MAX, and you select all these value, whichever is the maximum value, minus MIN, minimum, and you again select all of these value, whichever is the minimum, you will get the range. That data is distributed in a range of 5. Variance with the help of formula VAR dot S, selecting these value, you will get the variance, which is 3.0067. Standard deviation is equal to STD EV dot S, if you are using, and that you will get the 1.73. Clear? Any more question? Any one of you? This thing we have discussed on the day one, variance dot S, variance dot P. I think Syed, I explained, I'm not sure whether you was part of day one session or not. I explained this in quite a bit in detail. And I will be discussing this more when I will go for the hypothesis testing. So I think you need to wait for the second session for this. Maybe tomorrow probably we'll be discussing this. Tomorrow in the sense Monday. Will we always calculate these as per the sample variances? Yes. Whenever we talk about the process capability calculation, we talk as a sample all the population data in the process capability, and according to that we will be using var.s or var.p. I'll explain you this in detail in the process capability calculation. The next thing we are going to learn about the skewness. Skewness is, say, what is the expectation from the data? The expectation from the data, if we talk about, I am expecting, then data should be bell curve, right? Bell curve means data should be normal. But manual time, how your data will come? Either data is coming like this or data is coming like this. So such situation is termed as a skewed data. So when the tail of the data is on the right hand side, this is called as an positively skewed. Or this is your right skewed data. When the tail is on your left hand side, is called as a negatively skewed or left skewed data. But how to identify either it is significantly skewed or not? So for that, we calculate this with an Excel formula. An Excel formula of skewness, if you are using, you will get it. Like this formula I am writing SKEW. This will give you the skewness of the data. Example, if I select your time to office, are you perfect or are you skewed? And I'm using this formula, skewness is equal to SKEW, and then I'm getting the value as an 0.18. What does it mean? So I told you that if data is normal, that means it will represent the bell curve. So for any normal data, your skewness value, where is this? Will be between 0 plus or minus 1. In case it is positively skewed data, which means data is significantly skewed. So skewness value will be greater than 1. Or if it is negatively skewed data, then skewness value will be less than 1. That's what we will be deciding. So we will be putting up this formula, skewness, and if my
Excuse me,
value is
sir.
between 0 plus or minus 1, then it's a normally distributed data. If the skewness value is coming greater than 1, then it's a right skewed, which means like this curve you will get. Or if the skewness value is less than minus 1, not 1, it's less than minus 1, then this will be your negatively skewed data and tail of the data will be like this.
Okay.
Yes, always. Now you can speak.
Skewness value, positive, negative, normal, in a range in this.
Sorry, I did not get your question.
Hello, sir.
Someone else was speaking. Is it Susana Prakash? You have any question?
Oh, sorry. I didn't notice that my mic was on.
Always, you have any question?
Sir, my question was, I guess you have corrected it. I thought negatively skewed should be less than minus 1. So you already written minus 1 now.
Okay.
So it's okay. Yeah.
All right. And we understand how the physical shape of the data will look like. So like this will look like. Similar way, we calculate the kurtosis of the data. So when you have the data, maybe I pick up the same data like this, and you wanted to calculate the kurtosis of this data. So if you are looking for a normal shape of the data, which means the bell curve, so bell curve shape of the data in kurtosis, we call this as a mesokurtic, which is a normal shape. In case the shape is not normal and the peak of the data is too high, like this, then this is called as an leptokurtic data. Or if the peak of the data is less than expected, instead of this is almost flat, then this is called as an platykurtic data. Okay. So when mesokurtic data, then the kurtosis value is between 0 plus or minus 3. It is your mesokurtic data, normal data. Or if you have a sharp peak of the data, when we'll say leptokurtic, when the kurtosis value is greater than 3. Or when you have a shallow peak, then the kurtosis value will be less than minus 3. That's how we decide that peak is significantly high or the peak is significantly low. Right? And what is the formula in Excel that we can calculate this? What can be the x-axis and y-axis on the curve? X-axis will always be the count and y-axis will be the frequency of that count. Okay. So if you use the formula is equal to KURT, by using this formula, you will get the kurtosis value. So is equal to KURT. If I check, select these numbers, it will give you the kurtosis. Minus 1.41. Minus 1.41 means between 0 plus or minus 3, so I'm okay. But instead of this, what value you have, P is little down, but not significantly low. If expectation is like this, it is little less than the expectation, but it is not significant. Right? Question, please.
Sir, in the shallow data, which is less than -3, I think this curve should be towards the downside, towards the minus.
That's this side you see, na?
Yes.
This is your expectation here up to this level, and peak is too low compared to the expectation. Then it is a minus side. No?
But I'm understanding that it should be more low as it's the lowest level.
No. Say, if it is, say you need to calculate mathematical value here. This graph, what I'm showing is just for the representation. So I'm representing this. This is a normal peak. If it is more than the expected, then it's a higher side, which is the leptocurtic. And if it is less than expected, then it's a platycurtic. You can put this value at any like this or this, but I'm just representing, yeah, this is the way we see the leptocurtic, platycurtic, or the mesocurtic.
Covered, sir. Thank you.
Clear? Okay. What are the application? You will be learning soon, Puneet. As of now, we are understanding the basics and we'll go from the detailed statistics. You will be learning all these things. So the course structure, I did not follow any statistics method or maybe what books talks about, because I have been in industry for more than 18 years. I understand that how the Six Sigma should be implemented. And that's the reason I don't follow any presentation, because I wanted to make you equipped with the practical situation of everything. And I designed this entire flow in a specific pattern so that one by one you will be understanding everything and you will not be lost. And that's how I'm trying to explain you everything in a practical way. So one after another, you will be able to relate everything. Okay. So we understood the kurtosis. Now the next thing is, whatever we calculated, central tendency, mean median mode, dispersion, variance range standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, all the things if you want to see in one go. So how I can see? If mesocurtic value is 0, it is perfectly normal. Absolutely yes, Monim. Absolutely yes. Does the skewness, kurtosis normally check? Depends on the data type. Generally, if your data is numeric, then only we'll check that, because the non-numeric data you cannot check test, right? So your data has to be numeric, then only you can calculate this. Okay. My question was, if you want to see everything in one go, then how you will see it? Anyone of you know about that function in Excel? There is a add-in in Excel if it is not there. So instead of calculating each and everything manually, you can calculate in a one go. And once you have everything in front of you, like as a doctor has the final report of the diagnosis, you will have the final report of the data diagnosis. And you will get in one shot. How? People, in case you are on your computer, you can follow me. If you are looking from the mobile, please write down the navigation. First option, you have to go to the file, followed by options. Now, if I go to the file, followed by the options, you will get such a ribbon where you have Hey people, good evening everyone. Thank you so much for joining and big data. Little less than the expectation, but it is not significant. Less than expected, then it's a platycardic. If mesocardic value is 0, it is perfectly normal. Absolutely yes, Monim. Absolutely yes. Does the skewness kurtosis normally check? Depends on the data type. And once you have everything in front of you, like as a doctor has the final report of the diagnosis, you will have the final report of the data diagnosis. And you will get in one shot. How? People, in case you are on your computer, you can follow me. If you are looking from the mobile, please write down the navigation. First option, you have to go to the file, followed by options. Now, if I go to the file, followed by the options, you will get such a ribbon where you have to click on the add-ins. And in add-ins, when the window will open, the first option is the analysis toolpack. And the bottom, you have the Excel add-ins. I hope you are following me. You have the add-ins, then analysis toolpack, and then you have the Excel add-in in the bottom and click on the go. So this window will open. Select the analysis toolpack, click on OK, and there will be additional feature added into your data main menu data option, which will be your data analysis. This data analysis option, you can summarize entire data in a simple one click. Suppose this is your data. I go to the data analysis. And once I click this, such window will open. In this window, you select descriptive statistics as an option. And here you click on OK. Now you will be selecting your range of the data. So data is from this range, entire range you select. If data is in the column like this, select the column option. If data is in the row, then select the row option. If you are selecting with the title, select the label in the row. Because I did not select the title, so I will uncheck that. Because row, the title is in the column 6 and I'm selecting the data from the column 7. Now what do you want to see? Summary statistics as an output. Where do you want to see? Click here and click any of the column after selecting. Sorry, it's a summary statistics. Sorry, you need to select the output range. Yeah. Where? Maybe let's say in this column. You have selected the output range within the same worksheet, not the new worksheet. Summary statistics, data range is selected, data is in the column, no title selected, and in the column E, 6 I want to see. Click on OK. And now whatever the manual analysis we were doing few minutes back, all the analysis is done by Excel in one go. So you have average value, standard error, number of median is 27, mode is 26, standard deviation of the data is 1.73, variance 3.01, kurtosis minus 1.41, skewness 0.19, range is 5, the minimum, maximum, sum, count, and everything is there. Ask me question now. Now, data diagnosis report is ready with you. Now, what are you supposed to do? We will be taking our decision based on that. Right? So again, please, I'm writing here, file. Next is the options. Next is, if you see here, after option, what you get? Add-ins. I hope you can write add-ins and the analysis tool pack. After add-ins, analysis tool pack, what you have? Excel add-ins and go. After go, you need to select one more option, which is analysis tool pack and OK. I hope that helps. This is the complete path. Clear now? Now the same thing. There is a tool which I was telling you. We use Minitab. Minitab is a application on the page 1 for the trial version. I have given you the link. then you can download the trial version of this from the Minitab. Right? This is the trial version because this is a licensed software and quite expensive as well. So we can use this option. You can download a free trial for 30 days and you can use it. Okay. In case you have already in your company, Minitab is available. So the same analysis, we can go in one click in the Minitab along with some graph as well. So if I use this, let's say your batch, this is the file, is for IMC Black Belt 244. Let me copy. I have the Minitab license version, so I'm opening this. Look like as a, this also look like as a Excel only. But you can say it's a much advanced Excel where all the formulas are inbuilt in the process. You just need to select the data. Sorry. And let me save this file for you people here. You just need to select your data in the Excel format, whatever you have, and paste in the Minitab. And you just need to navigate through the correct option in the Minitab, and you will get the answer. So like this, same as Excel, we have the column here, right? And these column analysis, we can do it. How? Whatever the basic statistics we have done, we can do the same analysis with the help of Minitab. We'll go to the stat, basic statistics, and the graphical summary. So as you go to the stat, basic statistics or graphical summary, click on this, select your data as a double click on this time to office. I don't have any variable, you just click on OK. And by clicking on OK, you will get a graph like this. So this is your histogram, which is telling you how your historical data look like. Right? How the graph of your historical data looks like. Now, the same thing in the Excel what we calculated along with some additional value, it is given here. You have the mean value, standard deviation, variance, skewness, kurtosis, number of value, minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, maximum, plus or minus confidence interval for the mean, median, and standard deviation. So compared to the Excel, Minitab is a much advanced software. And that's how we pay for this. And it will be helping you to find out the all of the descriptive statistics of the data. Yes, I see there is no mode. Probably Minitab may not be capable in finding out that. That's the reason. Okay. Any more question, people? Let me copy this graph and put into your Excel sheet. Okay. Now I have a question to you people. The next topic which we have is more in detail of the statistics, understanding the hypothesis. Shall we park it for tomorrow or should I continue for today? Ask me, please. You let me know. I'll go with that.
So tomorrow will be better.
Monday.
Yeah, tomorrow means Monday. Next session. Okay, so just one more thing which I wanted to tell you. Please do practice as much as possible. Because without practice, Six Sigma is nothing. You have to do a lot of practice. Right? Thank you so much for your time and patience today, people. And I'll see you again on Monday.